guys, welcome to the channel, and my name is Karin and my channel is called Karin's Orchids. This is going to be a care collab video about how I grow my Phalaenopsis Schilleriana, a species Phalaenopsis from the Philippines, on the windowsill. And today there's going to be a few other participating channels also. So I'm going to put links to the channels and the videos in the description box below. This empty spot is where she usually sits, but I reckon that this spot is a bit too hot for her. This room provides a constant amount of high temperature with less difference between nighttime temperature and daytime. And this orchid species was described firstly by Heinrich Gustav Reichenbach, and it was named after the German orchid enthusiast Schiller. So, Schilleriana it is. And this one grows, usually in the wild, it grows on tree branches high up in the trees, in the air, nearby the coastline, about 450 meters above sea level. This one is a hot grower with fleshy leaves, with greyish marbling on the upper side and purple spots on the underside here. This one should bloom in springtime, but normally the 4 other occasions when this one's bloomed before in earlier years, it bloomed in December to January, so this time it's a little bit late. But maybe this is the right schedule for her. The blooms are fragrant, and they lasted for me each time for about 5 weeks. So yeah, that's okay. But they are usually a little bit larger than this time. Some has already faded, so it was really the very last minute I filmed this orchid, and I got the request on making this care collab while it was still in bloom. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? But yeah, the blooms are getting wider. The older the blooms gets, the wider they will become. So this one is now about 7.5. Let's measure properly here. Yeah, let's see. 7 centimeters. They usually are 8 to 9 centimeters. And I was expecting a really good blooming out of this spike, this branching spike. Can you see it? Maybe move it a bit back. Look at it. This is actually one spike, a good spike, which branched out here. It's going to be a cakey out of this one, I hope. And into this one. One faded. It already dropped a few of its buds. Blooms, I mean. But she's still in bloom, so, and fragrant as she is. She's a gorgeous one. This one has been hybridized a few times in the past, I believe. This leaf set is the best leaf set I have seen on Phalaenopsis orchid. But when the more blooms in numbers, the smaller they will get, as usual, when it comes to bride Phalaenopsis. Well, it requires medium light, no direct sunlight, at least about 12 hours a day, and yeah, that's what I'm providing her. I always have been so. This plant is said to be needing a clear fluctuation in temperature, since it won't tolerate a constant high temperature. Otherwise, it will die off. But I mean, 5 years later, she's still alive, and at least the root system is kicking. But a 2-leaved plant, that tells me that it's really, really, really about time for me to take a little bit more care of this orchid. It's lacking out on something, really. And it needs a bit of, I don't even think I'm providing her as much humidity that she prefers. Back in the days, when I first got her, she had a couple of more leaves constantly, and she was sitting there in the window in my kitchen, a little bit smaller room, so the humidity is a bit higher, constantly higher here. So maybe this is where she's gonna sit or hang in the future instead. Yeah, she always gets stuff to her leaves. Spider mites, false spider mites and stuff, so yeah, she doesn't like the dry air and the hot temperature. This one should be constantly moist during growing season, which is about now, after it finishes blooming. The time before she creates a spike, she will need a slight rest period with decreased fertilizing as well, of course. And I deep water her. Look at this good amount of roots, flat roots, really flat. Yeah, that's what she looks like, flat roots. She's in need of some watering again with this heavy root system, no wonder. Yeah, so a little bit of water to this gal today. But anyway, she's sitting in bark, medium grade bark media with some perlite, and I can now today see that I have been added a little bit of sphagnum moss to the mixture as well, so yeah, maybe that's preferable for this orchid. And the roots doesn't like to be fertilized immediately. There will be some salt accumulation and some root rot as a result, so flush it with some regular tap water or RO water or osmosis water or whatever kind of water you're using before you add the fertilizer to the roots. Yeah, as always, it goes for almost every orchid. Yes. What else? Fertilizing, well, I'm not really into fertilizers all that much. I fertilize her a little bit, on a half amount, the recommended amount, almost every watering except for when she's definitely not in growing stage. As for now, she needs to get a fuller leaf set, so that's what she's gonna concentrate on from now on. Maybe that's why she all of a sudden created a keiki. And this keiki, if it develops a little bit more, it is. It's a little bit more greenish now, so it's growing. This keiki is gonna be saved and cut off here sometime after blooming. I'm gonna leave the spike this time, so the plant itself will be able to suck out as much nutrients from the spike as possible. I've had this one, as I said, for 5 years, from April 17. Got it as a really, really tiny plant. Not much, not more than a seedling, not much more than a seedling size. From Orchidgardneriet and Hans Christiansen in Fredensborg, Denmark. So we took the ferry with the Orchid Society and visited the lovely, lovely nursery. And I got this one home with me. And I haven't regretted since she's such a reliable bloomer every year. She bloomed after about 1 year after I got her, so she can bloom really young, I imagine. And, well, what else is there to say? Except for me having to repart her very soon into new fresh media. I'm gonna give you a few other examples on mottled-leaved orchids with marbling to the leaves. This one is Doritis pulcherrima variation marmorada. Look at this one's leaf set and compare it to this one. Which one do you prefer? Yeah. And we also got another gorgeous orchid, Phalaenopsis Sogo. In spike for the first time. Not as good of a leaf set on this one either. Spots are really a little bit more roundish. Rounded. Ish. The favorite word, ish. Well, they are rounded as well here, but not as much as on this one. And, well, I think I prefer the Schilleriana in front of this one. I love her leaf set. Thank you all guys for watching, and take the time to drop by. Take care guys, until see you next time, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.